Doing amazing today. I'm kind of making like this impromptu video right now. It's a little unconventional. DJ is in the living room watching his shows right now because he is on his own program today. He did not want to be on my schedule, so yeah. So I am actually prepping for dinner and also for lunch tomorrow. So for dinner we're having like taco bowls, and I have a ton of veggies to cut up because our taco bowls are like plant-based. So we usually do Beyond, oh baby. Look, that pepper is not cute. Okay, I'm back. This pepper is much better. Yeah, I tried to do really well. Last week was like the best week that we had of actually cooking like everything that I bought for groceries so that nothing went bad. We had a little bit of leftovers that didn't get eaten, but no big deal. Anyway, but that one pepper did, and I didn't even notice, so I was like, oh gosh, so I had to replace that. But like I was saying, we usually use Beyond Meat or Beyond Sausage as a replacement for meat in our taco bowls, but lately my baby has not been liking that either. So let me swap this around. Is that ratchet? Okay, so I just swapped the camera around, but yeah, so I've been doing like totally plant, like all veggies, and I season them up really good still. Use taco seasoning, Southwest seasoning, stuff like that. I add peppers and tomatoes and just all types of stuff to make sure that the flavor is still there. And then with the black beans, I just do those really nice so it serves as like a good like filler. And then for Dante, because he's, you know, he still likes the Beyond Sausage, so I still make some of that for him on the side. So that's what I'm doing. I had said yesterday that I was going to make a video kind of just sharing for any of the mamas that see my IG post and my Facebook post, and I said I was gonna share the full story on my YouTube and my blog, or just for anybody that comes across this video and needs some encouragement or needs, you know, to hear from my story and I don't even know it yet, and you don't even know it yet. This is for you, okay? I need a little throwaway bag. Hold up. Use this one. So yeah, as far as cooking goes, I'm just gonna run y'all down through the process as I'm talking to. I literally am gonna cut up all the peppers first, and then I have these little Tupperwares over there with lids so I can cover them up and keep them fresh while we go through the rest of the veggies. But yeah, I do all the peppers, and then I do like, I have a yellow pepper, a red pepper, a poblano pepper, and then I'm gonna cut the green onions. I separate the white bottoms from the green tops. And then I have an actual half an onion, a white onion that I'm gonna use as well, because those all kind of get stir fried beforehand, some for the rice, some for the actual like taco mix, and then some for the black beans. So that is it. And then as far as the salsa, I make a salsa from scratch, and it is just diced Roma tomatoes with the tops of green onion with olive oil and some seasoning. So really good. So anyways, back to the story. Yeah, basically August 31st ended Black Breastfeeding Week, and I was super late because, like I said in my story, it was just a topic that, for one, is really near and dear to my heart, but also is very emotional for me personally. And I know it can be for a lot of moms, as I kind of said in my post. Excuse DJ, he's gonna make all types of noises, but we're here with it. Let me just bring this a little closer so I don't have to yell, but it captures my voice. But yeah, it can be a very emotional journey for like most moms, whether it goes really well and then it has to end at some point and that's emotional, or whether it goes really bad and you have a traumatic experience, or whether you're not able to at all. You know, that all is tough, can be really difficult to deal with. And so, you know, my journey is not unlike anyone's in that aspect, because, you know, basically DJ was born with a lip tie, and we had kind of chosen and talked about not wanting to be invasive at all. Like if there was elective surgeries and stuff, we would kind of choose which ones he would get and which ones he wouldn't as they came up, but we just never anticipated a lip tie, you know? So basically the lip tie is when you have that piece of skin up there that kind of attaches your lip to your gum, but really tight and close to the top of your teeth, so it prevents your lip from lifting properly to be able to actually latch to the breast, right? So DJ had one of those. He had a lip tie, and basically they would have had to go in with like a laser or scissors. There's multiple different ways that they do it, and cut that. And you know, there's not a 100% chance that it was gonna be effective. The lip tie can actually kind of not grow back. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not a doctor, but it can like come back, and you'll have to get like maybe repeated surgeries. So there's just like a lot of factors, and we were like, well, some moms still breastfeed without it, but then it turns out that like no moms breastfeed successfully for long without getting that surgery. So it's just something that we kind of weighed and decided against getting for him, and ultimately it hindered our journey. So I kept breastfeeding. I think I did it for about 6 weeks total, exclusively, and y'all, all types of issues from, you know, just basically he was like, you know, not properly latched, so you can imagine like the friction and the tension and the just him like basically eating my nipples. Like there's no good way to say it, but I just had some crazy nipple damage that was no fun. Had to go through that process. And then also what I found out this pregnancy when I went in and got my initial checkup is that I have like a very, what's the word? Hi, I'm recording the video. You're fine. But I have like very cystic breasts. So basically there's like a bunch of little like nodes or like little lumps all throughout my boobs. Not like, you know, cancerous lumps or anything like that, but just lumps in general that can cause issues with milk production and breastfeeding. And so what ended up happening is like as you know, we were struggling to get our breastfeeding together, and then I also started pumping to just make sure I was getting all the milk out, and also trying to put milk on reserve for him for whenever like I was giving him the bottle along with the boob. After about 6 weeks I started giving him the bottle and the boob, and it was a journey because I got mastitis. So if you guys don't know what mastitis is, it's just basically like a terrible infection in your breast, and it was so painful. Honestly, like in my birth story was crazy. Like DJ came out breech at home upstairs, no drugs, no medicine, and not just feet first, but butt first. So like our birth in general was, some people would call it traumatic. I would just say it was a labor of love. It had to be done, and God guided us every step of the way through that. But mastitis was more painful for me than like labor and delivery, for sure. I would not wish that on anybody, but I know a lot of moms do go through it. Several friends of mine actually were like, girl, I feel your pain, I went through it too, type stuff. And so I went through that twice. The second time I already knew kind of what I was looking for and was able to kind of get ahead of it. And then I also just kept having like blockages because, you know, my boobs being lumpy, like they would get clogged up a lot. So I was just dealing with that. I know a lot of moms do, and it was just a struggle. So then after the second time having like nipple damage and just realizing this was not going to be feasible for us, and getting more help from actual you know, licensed breastfeeding consultants, like I just kind of realized that it wasn't going to be something that we were going to be able to do without having his lip tie revised. And so I just went to exclusive pumping. And so I'll just pause there and say that, like, I really feel for a lot of moms. I have so much love for all of us and just so much respect and like admiration, because it's such a tough journey, like especially as a first-time mom, anytime mom really, but like as a first-time mom, just having these ideas of how you think things will go, these hopes of how you hope things will go, and when those expectations are like not met at all and you're just kind of like trying to figure it out and you're already like hella emotional. And there's other parts of our birth story that were emotional and traumatic, that I will one day speak on as well, just regarding the healthcare system. And so, you know, I always just knew I would be a breastfeeding mom. Like, I just knew that if possible, which I didn't really in my mind even think that it wouldn't be possible, you know, for us to find out only, you know, a month and a half in that like this was just not gonna be a thing was really traumatic to me. I felt like, you know, like I was losing that moment, that bonding experience with my baby, but also, like I said, I was just hella emotional. So don't be like me, it's okay. Just feed your baby and they will love you and be happy. But yeah, it's an emotional thing. You just kind of have to be like, hey, it's not you. Like it's something I had to detach from myself and my own worth as a mom and as a woman. Like, breastfeeding is awesome, it's great. If you can do it and you want to do it, do it. And if not, it's okay, move on. Like, it's not the end of the world. And I know that now, so with baby number 2, things will be a lot more smooth. But I hope and pray that our breastfeeding journey goes according to plan. And so for the moms that it doesn't and that can't afford to get help or have a consultant come and like teach you and guide you and try to help you, and that can't afford to get your baby a surgery to revise it, like anything like that, I just feel for you and I'm here for you and I love you. And know that it's gonna be okay. It really is. Like I said, a fed is best in general. So that's something I really just had to tell myself at that kind of 6-7 week mark. It's like, girl, come on, hop out of this little funk. Because I know, I wouldn't say I ever got postpartum depression. I feel like I could have easily slipped into that space as someone who had previously dealt with depression, anxiety, PTSD, stuff like that. But like, God held it down, y'all. Like me, I won't like put my beliefs on anyone. You know, I love everybody and hope that, you know, you find a faith that works for you. But for me, like, Jesus just guided me and was there with me through every step of the way, just really holding my hand and being like, you're enough, you're loved, you're worthy, you're the best mom for this baby. So that kind of kept me in a good headspace, just having that relationship so strong. And then obviously my baby was still just so happy and chunky. But yeah, so we transitioned to exclusively pumping at around 6.5, 7 weeks. Yeah, 7 weeks. And that, once again, was a journey. Like I said, that was actually the second time I got mastitis, kind of when I was first figuring out how to pump. And then obviously, like, every time he would cry, you guys know if you're a mom anyways, like, especially in those early days. You okay, son? Especially in those early days, y'all, like, my boobs were just doing all types of madness. It's like nobody said it was gonna be like this. But yeah, but we pumped. I tried multiple different pumps. A lot of them were giving me issues because I have like a kind of in-between boob size, and so like none of the sizes were really fitting to feel good for the like electric pneumatic pumps where the air is like sucking the milk out of your breast. Like all of them were giving me issues, weren't fully draining my milk, and so then I would get backed up and get clogged, and those clogs prolonged is what leads to the mastitis. So it was problematic, y'all. I was going through it. I was really going through it. But yeah, so then we just kept doing that, and I exclusively pumped, problems and all. I just was like, the milk is what is best for my baby. Like, I will do whatever it takes. And I want to say it was about, maybe it was at about the 5-month mark, maybe 4 months. Yeah. Whoa. No way. DJ, cut it out, son. He's trying to break out of his, I don't know what to call it, but I have this like huge playpen that zips so he can go in and out of it, but I have it blocking off the entire living room so that he can't escape the living room. But he has 2 little play areas and all his toys, and he wants to be free. Is the side open? Did he move it that far? I'm surprised he didn't walk out, but I swear he's just standing there.
Yeah.
He's standing there yelling and like going, I'm shaking it. I'm like, bro.
I actually think I'm good enough to hop on the call with the Dewey on.
Do I think you look good enough?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think you look good enough. You know, I always think you look good enough. Who's the call with, though? I mean. Okay, so I don't remember exactly where I was, but I think I was saying something along the lines of around like the 4 or 5 month mark. I think we hit like a really good stride. It was a while ago, y'all, and I should have told my story way sooner because now your girl's memory. But we hit a really good stride. I found that a gravity pump kind of worked best for me, but it still didn't completely drain drain the milk. So that was something I still was kind of dealing with, and hand massaging a lot to get a lot of the excess milk out, and just doing all the things, you know what I mean? So he was still getting a great amount of milk. I think he was drinking like 6 ounces every 3 hours. So I was making that much milk to kind of sustain that until about, when was it when we had to introduce formula? I want to say it was around 6 months when we had a power outage that we weren't quite prepared for, and I lost like 2/3 of my supply of milk, and basically that just put me really behind, and in that time my supply kind of like did a weird thing where it slowed down, and I was just not producing enough milk to keep up with how hungry he was. And because he's always been kind of like a bigger boy, and just consistently, I mean, he always woke up during the night one time to eat until he was like 8 months old. I mean, he just always likes to eat, and we could have like ignored it and let him go back to sleep. We're like, whatever, I can just feed him and put him, he literally goes right back to sleep, like puts himself to sleep while he's drinking that bottle. So needless to say, we introduced formula, and in that time I think I still pumped for a couple more weeks, but my boobs were so done, y'all. Like it was tragic. That's all of the yellow and red pepper, by the way. So I'm just gonna put on a lid and set these to the side till I'm ready to throw them in the pan. Actually, I do onion with those as well, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut no, I don't want the thing to smell like onion. I do the onion last. Okay, so as I was saying, yeah, around the 6.5, 7 month mark is when we swapped over totally to formula. I stopped pumping and we switched to formula. But the crazy thing is, like, there was just so many different formulas, and I knew from, honestly, when he was in the womb, like, for one, I've never really, it's been years since I had really been drinking milk, actual milk, and so I just wasn't too big on it at all. And then later in life, like in the past 3 to 4 years, I've kind of developed a lactose sensitivity. I'm not lactose intolerant, but definitely a little bit like sensitive to milk and milk products. And so I noticed, like, while I was pregnant with DJ, very early on, I like noticed anytime I would have anything milk based that he would I would feel so sick, so nauseous. Like, I never once in my pregnancy, this one or with him, threw up. But I would feel so nauseous that I was like praying to throw up, you know, it was just like awful. And milk and dairy is one of the major things that would induce that. Outside of, you know, that first trimester, I was just sick, just to be sick with both of them. But yeah, so I kind of figured that he had a lactose sensitivity, but I was like, okay, I'm not gonna assume that or whatever. So I did try one formula. No, what happened was I did the lactose sensitivity one first, and he seemed to like it okay, but he was spitting up a lot. But a lot of moms that I was like seeing and following were saying that spit up was normal. And I even talked with our midwife, and she's like, yeah, like babies spit up, especially as they transition from breast milk to like formula, like he's gonna spit up. And so I was like, okay, I didn't really know how much was too much or anything like that. It was kind of just like a little vague, and every baby's different, you know, that's that thing. So I went one day to order his same formula, the lactose sensitive one, but they were all sold out at like 2 different locations near me. So I was like, okay, I just need formula for the kid, like he needs to eat. And I had a little bit left, obviously. I never like let it get so low to where like there's nothing available. But so I bought one that didn't have, it was the same brand, had all the same things, except for it wasn't the lactose sensitivity. And when I tell y'all, he was throwing up like crazy, I was like, gotcha, okay. Like, this is not just something I was speculating. You really do have a lactose sensitivity. So like I said, he was still spitting up, and I just started doing more and more research, trying to find a brand that like wouldn't make him spit up, because I'm like, there's no way. And then I was seeing some moms that were saying like, oh yeah, no, my kid didn't really spit up that much. I'm like, okay, if it's possible, you know, I get that every kid's different. I don't want to like compare or anything, but I want my baby to have the best experience, especially since, you know, I'm not the one personally providing that. So, oh, that's how you feel? And that's when I came across the Happy Baby organic brand. And when I tell y'all, this like just saved my sanity and my happiness in feeding my kid, because, you know, by this time I had already introduced solids to him. So by the time we finally figured out like what formulas and whatnot, it was, you know, this is like 7.5 months at this point. Maybe 8 months. It was like 7.5 months when we finally figured out that Happy Baby organic sensitive formula was the formula for him. When I tell y'all, he like stopped spitting up like pretty much immediately. Like, he rarely, if ever, would spit up. And so yeah, we kept on with that all the way up until now, which he still is drinking formula with you guys. And we are transitioning from formula. And I mean, he eats snacks, you know, multiple snacks per day. He loves snacking, but also he eats like 2 good meals per day. So I'm like, and then so we have started out about 2 weeks ago, right around his first birthday, actually transitioning, where I am slowly taking away the ounces of water and formula and just adding in more milk. And so already in this journey, in the past 2 weeks, you know, it has had its trials and whatnot. You okay, son? What's wrong? We all drink almond milk, and we drink the original unsweetened almond milk with most things. We use it in cooking and all types of stuff. I know there's lots of other options out there. I've tried a bunch, but that just seems to be the one that, you know, tastes the best to me, and that also sits the best on my tummy. But I noticed with his bottles, it was not mixing well. Like, it was mixing well physically, but for him, he started spitting up again after each bottle, pretty much. Not every bottle, but most bottles, he was like spitting up milk. So I started looking up other things, doing research, trying to figure out what was going to be the best milk to supplement in with his bottles. And I came across Ripple pea protein milk. So it's like veggie milk, but it tastes really good. I've now used the vanilla unsweetened and the original unsweetened for him as far as like drinking milk, because when he's not having a bottle, which he still is taking all his bottles, he still has a bottle roughly every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day. And on top of that, he's drinking tons of water. He drinks, like, he has one of those sippy cups. He drinks about a full 1.5 of one of those per day. And he also has about a cup of milk each day, which I try to give him like a third of a cup with breakfast, and he'll usually have like water with lunch, and then I'll give him some milk with dinner. This boy just eats, y'all, and I'm not overfeeding him at all. It's more so just the fact of like, if you don't feed him, he will let you know when he wants something, which I love. Like, he's very vocal, very communicative already, super early. He's always been that way from the start. So it's like, I know the things that he wants when he wants it. And it's usually food. So that's my baby for y'all, which is also why it was crazy with our breastfeeding journey, because he literally was so hungry. Like, every 2 hours he was trying to eat, and he was literally just like gnawing at my nipples with his gums, just gumming on them because he couldn't latch. So, as I said, very emotional journey. Yeah. So I know that was a long story, you guys, and I'm still over here chopping. And honestly, I'm chopping so slow because I was telling a story and I get distracted, but that's it. That's literally majority. I think there's probably still some details and things that I've left out, but I wasn't gonna get too deep and talk y'all's ear off today. But yeah, overall, the biggest things I just want to say is be encouraged, y'all. Like, speak over yourselves, positivity and love, and like really just know that you are worthy and you are enough exactly as you are, and that no circumstance that comes up can like dictate that at all, because you've already been like predestined and preordained as greatness. Even if you don't feel that right now, it is true, and I speak that over you and your family, that y'all are healed, you are happy, you're healthy, and that, yeah, everyone's journey is different. So just don't compare yours to anyone else's. Just feed your baby, love your baby. So that was story time. The lawn care crew came over to give us an estimate. We just switched over to a new lawn service because our old lawn service just like blew us off several times, and now our grass looks crazy. We look like that house on the block, which is so not me. If y'all know me, it's like very difficult for me to like go anywhere looking crazy, to have my house looking crazy inside and out, to like have my kid looking crazy. Like, I don't like stuff like that. Like, I just, not to say I'm putting on for anybody, but I have a standard for myself and everything attached to me, and it's really difficult for me mentally when my space does not match my space, you know, when my space don't match my space. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, I am going to, I don't know if you guys even want to see me cook the rest of this food, but I'm gonna do it anyways for maybe another video, a recipe video. If you guys are interested, so I make primarily a lot of plant-based meals, and so I'm not saying vegan, because we're not vegan. We're also not vegetarians. We're also not pescatarians, because I had chicken wings like twice in the past week and a half, and they were delicious. Okay, they were bussin'. Lemon pepper wings from this one spot in Atlanta, next level, y'all. So look at this baby. Like, ignore any mess that you see. DJ, send the dough up high. Puppies for the truck. Smoothie. He's so cute. He's so stinking cute. Oh, if you make it to the end of this video, let me know what is something that you would like to see more of. Would you like to see my recipes? Would you like to see me kind of go through a big deep clean of like the house, or how I do day-to-day kind of chores, or how I sit down on Sundays and plan out the week, how I kind of like learn and play and spend time with DJ throughout the day? Just let me know what you guys want to see. More business stuff, because I am, like I said, a work from home mom. More art stuff, because I've been painting consistently. Like, all of these things are me, the many facets of me, and I just want to share with you guys. So thank you for listening. I hope you found some type of just encouragement and wisdom and joy and like love from this video. If so, like it, comment on it, subscribe so that you don't miss anything. Yeah, and I'll see you in the next one. I decided just to go ahead and show y'all how I did the rest of dinner. So first I start with the corn. Just to get it going, I put that in that back right pot, and in that I just add seasoning in general and a little bit of grilled scallions, which I grilled the scallions, which are like the white part of the green onions, in that back left pan. That's where I make my rice. Now I use the 90-second Uncle Ben's ready rice, but what I do is I cook it in the microwave, but I pan fry or grilled the scallions with some garlic and some, salt and pepper, and then I put the rice in, add a little bit of water, and then I just cover it like I'm actually making rice. So it turns out really good, really flavorful, even though I'm not like making it from scratch. In the front right pan, that is my onions that I diced and my peppers, and I seasoned those and just grilled those up really nice. And then with the black beans, I used 2 cans and I rinsed them and drained them. And I put them into the grilled poblanos. The poblanos are those little spicy peppers that I cut up. Yeah, I go ahead and put those in there with that. Then I take half of the onion and pepper mixture and I put it into the beans. And then I just diced up the Beyond sausage, and I put those in the same pan that I grilled the onions and the peppers. And after they're all grilled up really nicely, I dump the onions and the peppers back into the Beyond sausage mix. And then I put some green salsa into my black beans to just kind of create more of like a refried bean, but still actual whole beans kind of texture. Then I put a little bit of taco seasoning into my Beyond sausage, and then all of that is done. Then I'm making my salsa, like I said, really simple. And then I go ahead and I make this like Southwest sour cream mixture that kind of goes on top. So that's it. Is it good, DJ? Your face says no, but you're tearing it up, so I think yes. Let's get you some more beans. I know you like your beans. Oh, you eat all the corn? Get you a pepper. And another tomato. Nice. My mama's having hers burrito style.